Hi guys. We're backing out. I don't know what you think, we're short-staffed or anything, but you know, we're short-staffed on purpose. Captain Jeff, your quarantine captain, is downstairs untying ropes, and we will be backing out, I don't know, 2 minutes. I know it's got to be strange for you guys at home. It's strange for me, I can tell you that. I was laying on the couch the other night, okay, and I just happened to look out the window. We live about I don't know, about a half a block from Delaware Bay. The sun was coming in my window in the evening there. It was around 7:30, and it dawned on me, since I've been doing this for the past 30 years, it dawned on me that I have, in the last 30 years, I have never been laying on my couch at that time of night at my house right there, having the sun come in that window. It's been 30 years, okay, which means since I just turned 65 in February, that means the last time I was there was I was 35 years old. I'm sorry, but I found that shocking. Bow line's off. The stern line's off. Clear. Waiting for the all clear from Captain Jeff. We are clear. Something on there.
And Michelle's watching. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway. Once again, I'm Captain Jeff, your quarantine captain. Captain Stewart is at the helm today. And we are getting underway from the Miss Chris Marina aboard the 125-foot Atlantis. Here's the view from the pilot house while we make our turn. Nice to see everybody tuning in this morning. Nice to see, and Michelle's on here. Karen Nietzsche, nice to see you too. Just getting underway here in Spicer Creek. Good morning, everybody. Off to our left, you've got a perfect example of the Great Salt Marsh. The Great Salt Marsh extends from Barnegat, New Jersey, down to Cape May. Many different species of saltwater fish breed here throughout the year. If you look closely up ahead on the left, we have an osprey stand. Osprey are local fish hawks. They're often mistaken for bald eagles. Many of the osprey stands here in Spicer Creek have had osprey for the last couple of months here at this point. They came back a little early. one down in the marsh there. If you look closely. Just hanging out. We got folks tuning in here from the villas. We got folks tuning in here from the UK. Cool. I saw some folks from Idaho. Happy to have everybody aboard this morning. Once again, I'm Captain Jeff. If you're just tuning in here, I'm here with Captain Stewart. You are on board the 125-foot long Atlantis on our 8th virtual whale and dolphin watch. Cruising along the shores of Spicer Creek here. It is a great day to be on the water. We cannot wait to have you all back with us here. Abington, PA, Illinois. Wow, guys are coming in from everywhere. Beautiful. Now coming out into Cape May Canal. The Cape May Canal connects Delaware Bay with Cape May Harbor, and it's 3.5 miles in length. The canal was constructed during World War II so that our shipping would not have to go around Cape May Point, where it was being subjected to German U-boat attacks, which were very prevalent in the day. The canal is also part of the Intracoastal Waterway. The Intracoastal Waterway is an inland body of water that runs from Maine to Florida. It's marked on either side by red and green channel markers. If we were to turn around and take you south on the ICW, we could have you down in Miami Beach in about 1,200 miles. Again, this is the view from the pilot house aboard the 125-foot Atlantis.
A little wider than I wanted. I want to make sure I didn't cut that corner off, and I did not.
Just getting underway here, getting ready to go underneath the Garden State Parkway Bridge. This bridge marks the end of the Garden State Parkway, mile marker 0, about 125 miles to our north, New York City. See some folks from Hollywood, Florida, Middleton, Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. Happy to have you aboard. Coming out onto Cape May Harbor, Lancaster, PA. Nice to see you. Some folks from the Poconos. Again, this is Cape May Harbor. The entire harbor is man-made. Constructed between the years 1900 and 1908. Stretched out from over 500 acres of salt marsh, the spoils of which were used to backfill East Cape May. Off to your right, this is Hutch's Marina. The Atlantis here. Again, at 125 feet in length, it is the largest in the state. Lots of space for lots of social distancing. Off to our left, the Canyon Club Marina and Condominium Complex. They're the host of the Mid-Atlantic 500,000, billed as the richest marlin tournament in the world. Back behind us on the right here at our 5 o'clock currently. And then off to the extreme right, we got the Lobster House, Fish House and Restaurants, where you can buy fresh fish right off the boats. Most of the boats tied up there today, they are offshore fishing draggers and scallop boats. Nice to have you aboard. Adeline's watching too. Wonderful. It is a gorgeous day here today. Taking you around the stern of the Atlantis here. We're still on the upper deck. Got a great view from the upper deck of this vessel. At 125 feet in length, we've got more space than anybody does for our tours here in the state of New Jersey. Coming up on the turn buoy here. Got an Osprey on day marker 4 here. 14. Side deck of the Atlantis here. Still out on Cape May Harbor. Snug Harbor Marina, Ocean Drive. Got the Harbor View Restaurant and Marina, Captain Fred's Place. Also on Ocean Drive here. Marina, also coming up on the left. We're now looking at between 10 and 11 o'clock, so the left side of the Atlantis here. Coming down the right side, take you up around the front here. A little breezy this morning, not too bad. White building with the gray roof, that's the Corinthian Yacht Club. It's our local sailing organization here in Cape May. Also one of the oldest yacht clubs in the United States. And would like to know when our tours open. We are aiming for Memorial Day weekend here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's going to be a little different than usual. We are going to give you maximum space on board the boat. We have to adhere to social distancing, of course. And we're going to require face coverings of some kind here, guys. However, it's pretty commonplace right now. You go to the grocery store, you go pretty much anywhere, you got to have one, so I recommend getting one. But we are shooting for Memorial Day weekend. Coming up, left side here, Group Cape May Coast Guard Base and Training Center. This is the only training center in the United States for the Coast Guard. Some of you know, joins up with the Coast Guard from anywhere in the U.S. They're coming to Cape May, New Jersey for their 8 weeks of basic training as a new recruit. They process 3,000 to 5,000 new recruits every year. The largest vessels on your right, the Lawrence Lawson, the Angela McShann. These are both 155-foot medium endurance offshore Coast Guard cutters. They're part of a brand new class of cutter here in the United States Coast Guard. These vessels and others like them, they are named after enlisted heroes, capable of speeds of up to 28 knots, used for fisheries management and search and rescue. Whoop, sorry. Let's go learn this new rig here, folks. See some folks on board from Hamilton. You saw somebody used to work at Aletheia's. Excellent restaurant down in Cape May. One other note, ladies and gentlemen, June 1st in Cape May, the hotels and B&Bs and rentals are going to be opening here. And we will be posting some more about that on the website. So Cape May is working on reopening here. So June 1st, hotels, motels, and the beaches. Beaches are open. Pretty cool. Happy to hear it. So, lots of different things happening here. Doing our best. Is what we got. Some folks from Sea Isle watching. Nice to see you aboard here. If you're just tuning in, I'm Captain Jeff. We got Captain Stewart at the helm. On the crew today, we have Leanne and Lillian and Jeffrey. Hi, Andrew. Hey, Mike. The Bonanza. Tuning in? All right. Happy to have you aboard, man. Gonna do some virtual drum fishing soon here. Good catch. All right. Here in Cape May Harbor. See the view out the front here. I had you looking about 5 o'clock back behind us. Now I got you at 12 o'clock, right out the front of the boat here. Folks tuning in from Pittsburgh. Nice to have you aboard. Bridge up ahead on your left, that's a 2-mile bridge. This bridge connects Cape May with Wildwood Crest, the Ocean Drive. That's $1.50 to go over. My voice is going to be a little muffled here, probably with the wind here, folks. Trying to not have the camera die in the middle of this trip like we did last year. See if I can get you out of the breeze. Got another osprey nest coming up here left side. Folks from Chambersburg, PA, Conshohocken, PA, happy to have you aboard. Just about every one of these day markers in the harbor has an osprey nest on it. Day marker 6 there. Again, we're cruising on Cape May Harbor. We're getting ready to depart the harbor here. Inlet's coming up next. Got a 2-mile bridge off to our left. Another osprey, day marker 4 here. Yeah, we got some wind to contend with here today. It can't all be bluebird perfect days, but this one looks beautiful. Any changes in the harbor since everything's been shut down? Nope. This harbor, other than the osprey returning, looks pretty much like this in January. It looks like this in May. It looks like this in July, August, right up through December again. Fishermen are still fishing, the Coast Guard's still saving. Everybody's doing their jobs. We're trying to too. That's why we got you out here today. Again, we're going to be opening, well, we're shooting to open for Memorial Day weekend. Folks from Turnersville, New Jersey. Looking back at 2-Mile Bridge here and Lund's Fisheries. Guys out fishing today. passing Sewell's Point. His name's Sewell's Point. Back in 1868, William J. Sewell built his fish house restaurant here. He actually had a horse-drawn trolley line that connected Sewell's Point with downtown Cape May. Here, see Captain Scott's tuning in. Hiya, Scotty. Working our way out the inlet here. You're right. Somebody just asked, is this the firing range? This was the Coast Guard firing range for years. It no longer is over here. It used to be where you go out around Acan and Seacan at the beach here. Some pretty good splashes actually out there. See that sailboat out on the right?
Yeah.
Look to the left of it. He said like 2 good splashes in a row. To the left of the sailboat, closer than the sailboat. Kind of basically where Acan and Seacan used to be. Well, that's what I mean. It's not coming back, so there was something there. It was probably just dolphins, but I just had some dolphins pop on the far side of the jetty here.
Right down is
Yeah, beautiful.
coming this way.
Got the city of Cape May off to your right. You'll notice the beachfront here in Cape May, it's back behind us now, quite a ways. We already had some dolphins go down up ahead of us here. Just had some dolphins go down up ahead, left side here in the inlet. There they are. There's Flipper, coming this way. Right in the inlet. And the way we like to start off our whale and dolphin watching trips is by looking for dolphins first. We're looking for Atlantic bottlenose dolphins. They can grow to be 7 to 10 feet in length. About the distance you're supposed to be keeping between folks. Just popped up ahead of us here. They can weigh up to 700 pounds. They're gray in color. They are marine mammals. They have to come to the surface to breathe air. They breathe air like we do. You spot them, point them out to us, put them in the comments. You have questions about them, put that in the comments too. One thing I want to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I do my best to answer all the comments as I'm watching here, but I'm also trying to watch where I'm pointing the camera and a couple other things going on here. So if I miss your question for whatever reason, I do my best to go back and answer all questions after the virtual trip ends. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. You can also always email us, info@Cape May Whale Watcher. We got more dolphins up ahead of us. This group hasn't surfaced again, so oftentimes the dolphins will come here into Cape May Inlet. They'll even go all the way into the harbor and back behind Wildwood, and they'll be feeding through here. Current water temperature should be right around 54, I think. I'll double check that for you in a moment here. What do the whales and dolphins eat? The dolphins around here, they're chasing fish, of course, all types of fish. fish, mackerel. Is that a little better? Doing my best with the wind here, folks.
You got a group ahead of us here. You got 2 or 3 groups out here that are coming this direction.
So we got a couple different groups that we're working up to here, ladies and gentlemen. I started to mention what the dolphins eat. We had a question about that. The dolphins eat all types of fish. Bunker is a primary part of their diet here. But they eat all types of fish. They eat flounder, striped bass, weakfish, bluefish, even blue claw crabs, you name it, it's on the menu for the dolphins. And you're now out in that good old Atlantic Ocean. Once again, if you're standing up, hold on. Even if you're in your living room, it can get a little shaky here. We're doing our best to stabilize the camera here for you folks. We don't want to hear about anybody being seasick in their living room. Got some dolphins just popped right side here. Around 2 to 3 o'clock. And that's the city of Cape May in the background up ahead here. Working up to a pod of dolphins on our right. Now around 1 o'clock, coming around to 12 o'clock. So right off the front of the boat would be 12 o'clock. And with the boat stopped, less wind. Give him a chance, he'll be back up. Rule number 1 in whale and dolphin watching. What goes down must come up. Just had another question about seeing the dolphins in the inlet. Yes, it's a pretty common occurrence. Up ahead of us, breaching. There's Flipper. Just went down. Right in front of the boat, looking at us. Every now and then you'll see the dolphins put their heads up above the surface. You can see their eyes. Remember, the dolphins have excellent vision both above and below the surface. If you see their eyes, they're going on a people watch. They're watching us, watching them. Well, they're watching me, watching them. I don't know if they know if they're on Facebook Live here, gang. They are very intelligent, though, so I wouldn't put it past them. So we have a couple different groups through here. This group has gone behind us. We have another group I just saw surface out on our left here, further out here. And I had another group, I think it's the group that I saw splashing from in the inlet there. Should be up ahead of us here. So stand by, we'll work up to the next group here. These groups do appear to be feeding. Seen some pretty big splashes. Coming to us up ahead of the boat here at 12 o'clock. This is calving season or birthing season here, so keep your eyes peeled for calves, ladies and gentlemen. What are you looking for? You're looking for a baby dolphin. They'll usually be swimming right tight to mama's side. They can be around 18 to 24 inches in length. Darker in coloration than the rest of the dolphins. If they were born in the last 24 hours, the calves will be jet black in coloration. They'll have small folds or creases in their sides called fetal folds, and their dorsal fin may or may not be bent over to one side. The calves get this way from living within the fetal cavity for the past 12 months. That's right, ladies, it's 12 months for a dolphin, not 9, 12. So they're literally popping all around us here. Just had a couple come down the left side of the boat. We're on the left side here. Bottlenose dolphins can live 25 to up to 50 years. Hi, Pat. I see Pat's tuning in from the gift shop here. No, she's not in the gift shop today, but she will be soon, I hope. Back behind us on the left here. Coming to us on the right, just had some go down. More still working to us right side here. Looking right at us. So they're pretty spread out, but there's lots of them out here, folks. It's tough to really put it in perspective here. Try to give you the wide view here. Just had a couple go down behind us here. There's more further out there on the left. You got an osprey taken out there on the left. Everybody's working towards the inlet, not surprising. The inlet is an excellent fishing area. Fishermen know it, so do the dolphins. That's why they spend a lot of time around it, especially this time of year, but throughout the season, really. You have an interchange of water between the back bays, and every time the tide changes, you've either got fresh water, new water from the ocean entering the back bays, or you have lots of life coming out of the back bays on the ebb tide or outgoing tide. So nutrients and small fish and bigger fish. The dolphins, they sit here at the inlet waiting for them to be brought to them. Kind of like takeout. I don't know if they do curbside pickup. Just had one surface here right next to us. I missed it. I heard the splash though. It's almost like he waited for me to face the camera the other way. That is correct. Dolphins are mammals. They come to the surface to breathe air. They are not fish. They do not have gills. They breathe air in a similar manner to how we do. They have a blowhole on the back of their back, basically. And that blowhole is essentially their nose. And that's how they take a breath of fresh air every time they surface. That's why they come to the surface every 30 seconds to every couple of minutes. Hi, Whitney. Nice to see you aboard. Last week we had a lot of Myron L. Powell School out with us. We got dolphins all around us here. And I saw some educators were tuning in this morning, so any of you students out there, we're very happy to have you aboard. I'm happy that I can do this for you guys and get you out on at least a virtual trip. We've had a couple different virtual field trips out here. I definitely feel for you. I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old at home. Just celebrated her birthday the other day. And around that same time when we found out that New Jersey schools won't be returning to school this year, this season here, this class year. Pretty bummed about that. But look at the positive. We got a beautiful day here. We got a beautiful group of dolphins. And we have this wonderful technology so that I can show what I'm seeing right here with you. Have we seen any whales lately? My favorite question. We have. We have humpback whales hanging out in Delaware Bay. Talked to the Cape May Lewis Ferry this morning. They didn't have any this morning. So no reports to go on today. But that doesn't mean they're not around. It just means they're not in the ferry lanes where the ferry is relegated to go. That's why it's nice to get out on a whale watching boat so we can look. And that's what we're hoping to do once we're finished up with the dolphins here. So dolphins, they're members of the order Cetacea. This term cetacean refers to a group of over 80 different marine mammals, which are broken up into 2 suborders, toothed whales and baleen whales. Bottlenose dolphins, like we're viewing today, these are toothed whales, as you may have guessed. They're grouped in with other toothed whales. That includes other dolphins, porpoise, orcas, pilot whales, belugas. These are all toothed whales. Larger whales like humpback whales, fin whales, right whales. These are baleen whales, which do not have teeth. In lieu of teeth, they have baleen plates in the roof of their mouth. They use the baleen like a big filter. They filter their food out of the seawater they take in and then swallow it whole. I think we've got a calf in this group just popped directly ahead of us here at 12 o'clock. I'll see if I can get you in a little closer here with the camera. We are members of the Whale Sense program, so we keep our distance. Beautiful pod here. Beautiful group just off the bow of the boat. Camera's currently facing 12 o'clock here. When we do open to visitors, how many people per trip? We are going to be limiting our capacity to 50%. So this is a 300 passenger boat that I'm on board right now. Capacity is going to be 150 to start. Honestly, with us starting, I'm not really worried about capacity, folks. I'm worried if any of you actually want to go. It's been a tough couple months here, and I don't have to tell you that. You all know that. Beautiful pod of dolphins here. We got a beautiful day here. We're just outside Cape May Inlet. Inlet is off to our left up ahead here. This group just went down on our right here. Where are we going? No. You want to leave? No, I didn't hear you. Oh, okay. This group's pretty hard charging up to the inlet here. I haven't seen the calf come back up again here. Now, when a female dolphin goes to give birth for the very first time, she's going to swim back to the matriarchal pod from which she was born. So in most cases, her mother's there, her grandmother's there, in some rare cases, even her great-grandmother. You see, we've been able to prove lineage between the dolphins from generation to generation. There's that calf, just popped in that group ahead of us here, if you're paying attention. It was on the left side of Mom there. See a couple different folks talking about they'd love to bring their family out with us. That's great, and we'd love to have you. Again, we're going to be practicing social distancing. We will require a face covering of some kind. And we have some other pandemic updates at our policy page at CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com. We got dolphins swirling just below the surface here. Can't get the camera down quick enough. Literally all around us. Working right up to the inlet here. We're here stopped and they're chasing fish right up to the inlet here. Have I ever run into a shark? No, I have never run into a shark. Have we ever seen a shark? Maybe that's what you meant? Yes, we have seen sharks. That's another popular question. We don't see them every trip because they don't have to come to the surface, but we do see sharks on occasion. Maybe one per week in season. out of 21 trips a week. It is a beautiful day here today. Again, we're just outside Cape May Inlet on board the Atlantis. Captain Stewart at the helm. I'm Captain Jeff. Beautiful pod of dolphins. They've all worked up to the inlet here. I think they've actually gone under us and into the inlet. A couple crossing the inlet up ahead. Jersey Cape is my happy place. It's my happy place too, man. This place is why I live in New Jersey. Have I ever seen a mermaid? I have. I know a couple. Crest, Wildwood, and North Wildwood. I just had that calf pop up ahead here on the left. I don't know if that was in frame or not. This group's going up the Wildwood beachfront, it looks like here. Have you ever thought about how a dolphin sleeps? Probably not. Get you out of the wind here. Pretty important. Think about it in these terms, if you will. Dolphins are marine mammals. They have to surface to breathe air. They breathe air like we do. Well, we can't lay down on the ocean floor and take a nap, right? Neither can the dolphins. Now, scientists for years thought maybe the dolphins do the same thing that the great whales do. Humpbacks, finbacks have been observed logging, humpbacks for the most part, up on the surface. Pilot whales do this too, where they lay on the surface basically with their back exposed just enough so they can breathe through that blowhole in their back. Now, humpback whales can do this because they're comprised of a lot of blubber. Blubber is a fatty tissue, and we all know fat floats. Now, dolphins, on the other hand, dolphins have a lot of muscle tissue. They're denser than water, more dense than water. If they stopped swimming, they would sink and drown. Hard to believe for one of nature's best swimmers, and it puzzled scientists for years. How do the dolphins get their rest? Finally, a Russian scientist had 2 dolphins in captivity. He hooked them up to a brainwave machine and solved the mystery. He discovered dolphins have the ability to isolate either hemisphere of their brain throughout the day. So, throughout one part of the day, the dolphins are swimming on the left hemisphere of their brain only. A right hemisphere is turned off or sleeping. For another part of the day, they're swimming on the right hemisphere of their brain only, and the left hemisphere is turned off or sleeping. And throughout more rigorous activities like feeding and or mating, the dolphins are operating on both left and right hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Unlike man, we know when it comes to mating, man will be operating on no hemispheres of the brain. I think this group went underneath of us and outside of us like that. Brings up another interesting topic with dolphins. How about their mating behavior? Did you know that dolphins are some of the most sexually active creatures on the planet? Unlike other animals that only mate when the female's in heat, the dolphins mate 365 days of the year. They mate for fun and recreation. Some male dolphins, believe it or not, they've been known to mate 5 to 7 times a day. Gotta love those dolphins. Puts a whole new spin on that theory about coming back as a bird in the next life. Got them on the left side up ahead here. Sorry, right side. I'm getting switched up now. Between 1 and 2 o'clock, right side. Got another group back behind us around 4 o'clock. I think the main group's here ahead of us, though. Even though the dolphins have great vision above and below the surface, they navigate using another sense, if you will, something we don't possess as humans, and that's echolocation or sonar. What this is, it's actually a sound pulse that the dolphins emit from the melon portion of their body. This sound travels through the water in front of the dolphin when it bounces off of objects like the bottom of the ocean, other dolphins, fish, even this boat. The sound is sent back and picked up by tiny receptors in their lower jaw or chin. The dolphin's receptors are their teeth, and their teeth are staggered into 2 distinct rows so they receive the sound signal back in stereo. This gives dolphins a 3D readout of what's in front of them all the time. Makes them perfectly suited for swimming in murky waters and for hunting and feeding at night. Gonna work on getting our last shots in with this pod of dolphins. We want to show you some more here this morning. We got a beautiful morning. Told you an awful lot of information about dolphins. There's that calf up ahead, left side, right side. I don't expect you to remember everything we've told you about the dolphins, but if you can remember one fact, let's remember this. Where are we? There's that calf right side up ahead here. Well, where are we? Well, I'm guessing you're all in your homes or at work. Where are the dolphins? They're in the same place. They're here in the wild, in their home. Dolphins like this in the wild, they can live 45 to 50 years out here. Now, dolphins, like you see in captivity in a marine mammal park show, they're not so lucky. Typically, for every 1 dolphin you see out in captivity, there's been 3 dolphins captured. The first 2 die in the first 90 days of capture. The last one, lucky dolphin, you get to see in a show, they only live to the ripe old age of around 5, and that's it. So what are we getting at? Doesn't matter whether you're on this boat or somebody else's. What really matters, the well-being of the dolphins. This is where they belong, living out their lives the way the Creator intended them to live. Not swimming around in little concrete tanks in endless circles where they go blind from swimming in chlorinated water and die off from some other eye-related disease. No way, gang. You want to see dolphins, you want to see them out here. All right, gang, we're going to get underway here. We've got some more reports to check out. As we pull away from this group, even if you're at home, wave goodbye to Flipper. We'll be here next time. You get to see him at the shore. We're out of here. Checking out the wake back behind the Atlantis here, see if anybody's doing some body surfing this morning. This group, I don't think, is going to be interested with that calf with them. That calf looked to be around 48, maybe 72 hours old. That's it. So, got a beautiful day here. We're going up the beachfront here in Wildwood currently aboard the Atlantis, part of the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet. Hiya, friend. Nice to see you tuning in there. We're shooting to open up here for Memorial Day weekend with a reduced capacity and social distancing and requiring face coverings. So, yes, we are working on it. Back in the wheelhouse here with Captain Stewart.
We got a nice group here. We got another group up here. We got a group out here. I just wanted to swing this way before we turn. Also, when we were first stopped, I saw a decent sized tail up here. So I thought we ought to come take a look. It's probably a dolphin, but from the distance I couldn't tell. So I just thought, let's go take a peek.
Yeah, I've seen a couple different reports coming in from beachfronts where folks have
Yeah, I
seen some
saw that
humpback
too.
whale activity. So, and here in New Jersey, so sounds good to me. And we're going up the Wildwood beachfront here. All those beautiful hotels built right out on the beachfront. Here in Diamond Beach currently.
Dolphin, 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 dolphin.
Get focus back up here.
Also, like a city block outside.
Oh yeah, there's a nice group coming
Yeah.
south.
Yeah.
Well, going towards the bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit that one, There's 3 or 4 groups up here. I just want to get that Yeah, they have this over on our left.
Gorgeous day out here on the ocean. Give you a little southern view here. Working up to the east of the beachfront here.
Obviously a nice day. By the way, your mother's on board.
That's right. Mary P. Stewart's on board today. Captain Stewart's wife. My mom. I know it's after the fact here, ladies and gentlemen. Any of the moms on board. Happy Mother's Day. A little late here from the Cape May Whale Watcher crew. Happy to have you aboard. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got up here. See if we can see through the glass okay here. We got a little glare. Exactly Captain Stewart's view out the wheelhouse here. And we've got some more pods of dolphins just up the beach here. We have some outside of us. And quite a few around the inlet there. We had at least one calf at the inlet this morning. I think we may have had 2. So one of the questions on here, how long is a dolphin pregnant for? The gestation period is 12 months. Yep, no noise in the pilot house. We started these virtual whale watch trips. We were taking our personal boat, the Water Lily. And it's still a little chilly out here, folks. It's nice to have the pilot house with us here today.
Water temperature's 52.
52 degrees. Somebody had asked earlier, I had said 54 degrees. That was a guess. The actual temperature, 52. So we got some splashing going on here up on the left. See if we can get out of the glare. This group appears to be feeding, yes. You see them going 2 different directions at once. That means they've found what they were looking for, and they're chasing it down now. They just dove here, left side. For not being a very cold winter, it's kind of been a chilly spring, to be honest. Yeah, this group went down left side here. You got the view up the beachfront there. You can see the Wildwood Boardwalk in the distance. Up ahead, left side. 2 calves today. We had 2 calves. What percentage of the dolphin population has increased in the last 40 years? That's an impossible question to answer because there is no data from 40 years ago to compare it to. Anything you would be comparing it to would be an estimate. Well, baby dolphins, we have a question here about baby dolphins and eating fish also, or do they feed off mom? Well, dolphins are marine mammals, and part of being a mammal is that we nurse our young. So for the first 6 months to 12 months of the dolphin's life, they are feeding from mom. In the last 10 years, I would say the dolphin population has increased. Good 10 to 15%. Just back outside the wheelhouse here. We actually do have an internship program with the Stockton University up in Pomona, New Jersey for counting dolphins around Cape May. The interns would come aboard, photograph the dolphins' dorsal fins. That's how we count the dolphins. Each dorsal fin is actually unique, many of them. So they photograph them. They then crop the photos specifically to the dorsal fins. And they have software that they can compare each one and catalog them and count them. Tell you how often we see the same dolphins throughout a season. With that data, they've been able to extrapolate out where the dolphins go. They've compared our catalog of bottlenose dolphins to a catalog down in the Carolinas. It turns out the dolphins spend their summers here in Cape May and their winters down the Outer Banks. Got some groups back behind us surfacing. Got some groups up ahead of us surfacing. Nice view of the wildwoods back behind us on the right with the dolphins. And up ahead of us, looking back towards the inlet here, we got some more dolphins at our 1 o'clock position. Absolutely beautiful morning to be out here, folks. Happy to have you on board. We are out in the Atlantic Ocean. If you're standing up in your living room, you should be holding on. Honestly, if you're on the boat today, you'd probably be okay. We always recommend to hold on. One hand for the boat. So our dolphins, they usually leave here. Well, let's start with when they show up here. They usually show up here around the first week of April, second week of April. They stay with us throughout the spring, summer, and the fall. They'll leave here sometimes as late as December. They do this because they like the water 50 degrees or warmer. Now, something that has changed over the last 10 years here since I've been whale watching for the last 30, the dolphins have stayed much longer throughout the season and later. Certainly could be a sign of climate change here, changing their feeding habits, changing where they go to get their food. They stay here longer. At times they don't leave, honestly. We have seen positive dolphins that will stay in Delaware Bay. And offshore, in warmer offshore waters, there are transient groups of dolphins. That's when we get into the really large pods offshore. Sometimes 100, 200, up to 500 dolphins in a single pod. Yes, we do have virtual cruises scheduled for the future here. We have been doing them on a week-by-week basis. Basically, we pick the best weather so that we don't have as much wind noise to deal with. We are scheduled to start operations here Memorial Day weekend, and we look forward to seeing some of our regulars out with us here. The entire city of Cape May is scheduled to open as of June 1st. So all the hotels, motels, B&Bs, rentals. That is the latest news we've heard from the city of Cape May. Great news. Beaches will be open too, folks. I've had some other folks ask, what can they do to help support us if we don't want to buy a ticket? And do we have a Venmo account or something like that to help support these virtual whale and dolphin watch trips? No, we don't. There's a lot of great causes that you can support right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to help support us and you don't want to buy a ticket, you can go to CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com. You can buy a gift certificate. That gift certificate never expires, so if for whatever reason you do not want to go this year, you can just hang on to it and use it next year. You could use it 5 years from now. That's up to you. Or you could use it in the fall or this summer, whenever. It's a non-specific date and can be redeemed for tickets on board the boat. Right at CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com, click on gift certificates and you can buy them right there. That would be a big help to us. We have basically been operating these virtual tours with $0 coming in the door. We've had to cancel a lot of trips. It is what it is, guys. We're doing our best. I know you all are too. You're all doing your part by staying home. Thank you. To all our essential workers that are tuning in. I know we've had nurses and doctors tune in from time to time, but everybody at this point, the grocery store workers, the folks doing curbside pickup for food, the truckers out there on the road, everyone's doing our part. This is the part that I've been able to offer, and we're happy to have you aboard. So we're out here doing a little search pattern outside the bell buoy. Cape May Inlet out here on the right. Where are we headed, Cap?
Yeah, around Cape May. I just wanted to swing wide. I saw some splashing out here. I saw some boys up here, but I guess what I saw up the beach,
More of the same.
Could have been a whale. I guess it was just a lot of dolphins. I was so far away. Like I said, I saw a tail. Okay, and it looked bigger than a dolphin, but you know, it was at distance, you know, with my 65-year-old eyes.
Oh, that's laughable, Captain. You have great eyes. We know that.
Good Grading Bridge, Bishop Vessel Bridge, Jesse, outbound.
Thank you, Ann. Ann says we rock. Well, I appreciate it. Captain Stewart appreciates it. Thank you very much. So got you almost a mile off the beach here. Looking back towards Wildwood. Still a beautiful day out here. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you tuning in. Here's a view out the aft end here. here is because of our water depth. They're usually not down for more than a couple of minutes at a time. They could go down for up to 20 minutes if they want to, though it's not the norm. They're very impressive. Hello from Brooklyn. Hi, Jane. I'm glad you caught the live tour too. So one issue we've had with whale watching here, ladies and gentlemen, is there's not a lot of boats out to help us search. Plus, instead of us doing 21 trips per week, we've been lucky to get in just one. So we're down to basically 5% of what we normally would be doing this time of year. And then the amount of boat traffic on the water has been reduced greatly with the stay-at-home order. There are no other whale watching boats out. There are no fishing boats out for party boat fishing and things like that, though the essential fishermen are out, like at Lund's Fisheries or out from the Lobster House there. So the food fishermen are out. However, all the folks we normally talk to are not. So to locate whales and dolphins, we need assistance. So it has been daunting to find whales in this period of time here. As I'm looking back up the beachfront here, I'm still seeing splashes from all the dolphins we left up here in Wildwood. Passing 2 cm here, just outside of Cape May Inlet. St. Ephrem Academy in Brooklyn, 3rd grade. Happy to have you aboard here. Thanks, Veronica, for tuning in, having them tune in. Working our way to Cape May here. Leaving the Isle of Wildwood behind us. Cape May Inlet and Shorvis on the right here. Got you at the 3 o'clock position out the side of the boat here. For all the thank yous that I am getting for doing this, you are all welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Again, for anyone who would like to help support us, we're not looking for handouts. You can buy a gift certificate at CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com. Click on gift certificates. The gift certificates do not have an expiration in the state of New Jersey. It's New Jersey law. So since we're all following the law, gift certificates are included in that. Buy a gift certificate. You can use it for a trip this year. You can use it for a trip next year. If you have a balance on it in the future there, say next year, you buy tickets and there's a balance, you can use it at the snack bar. That's how our gift certificates work. They make great gifts, but you can also keep them just for yourself. We can get you plenty of wind noise if you want to feel the breeze here. Coming up on the city of Cape May. Cape May is a very historical city dating back to the whaling days and beyond. It originally was a 2-day journey down to Cape May from the then capital city of Philadelphia. The first day down as far as May's Landing, the second day down to Cape May by stagecoach. Today, the whole city of Cape May is a National Historic Landmark for its unique collection of Victorian homes and hotels. What is the closest to shore I've seen a whale? I have seen whales just outside where the bathers are. So, 100 yards off the beach. Humpback whales in particular, they can be a near-shore feeder. Their primary prey in this area are bunker or menhaden. Bunker are abundant in the Delaware Bay at this time of the year, and they're starting to come out of the bay into the mouth of the bay. Bunker's what the whales eat. Bunker are right next to the shore. That's where the whales go. I was just watching a video earlier of some whales up in Long Beach Island lunge feeding literally 100 yards off the beach. So they are around. As first section of beach on our right, we got some more dolphins in shore of us, halfway to the beach there. This is known as Poverty Beach. This was named Poverty Beach during Victorian times, with the class system still in effect. The hired help working in the hotels of downtown Cape May, they were not permitted to bathe with the guests, so they were relegated to this rather obscure northern secondary beachfront, thus the name Poverty Beach. Need a break? Okay. Back up in the wheelhouse with Captain Stewart here. How far north do they go in the Delaware Bay? Do you mean humpback whales? How far north do they go? Funny you should ask. Last year we saw some interesting activity from humpback whales. On average, we see humpback whales as far up as 17 miles up the bay around Myamal Shoal. It's almost 20 miles from the entrance to the bay. Last year we saw them going up into very shallow water in Delaware Bay, up around the area of near Port Nars and up near Fortescue, where the Bonanza sails out of with Captain Mike. He's been our asset up there, reporting every time he has humpback whales in the area, and they have been in some very shallow water up there, as little as 10 to 15 feet of water, chasing bunker up in the bay. How can I see whale footage from LBI? You know, I don't have it. If I had the link, I'd put it on here. And there you go, Google it. She just saw it this morning. It was really cool. Section of beach coming up on our right, the part of Cape May. This is East Cape May.
You're right back in 2 seconds.
I got it. Back in the year 1903, a group of investors from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they purchased all this land to our right for the small sum of $200,000 in an attempt to build an all-new Cape May and rejuvenate the city of Cape May. In the end, fewer than 100 homes were built, these large seaside cottages to our right. They stand as a lasting testimony to their efforts. Now, if you look closely there in the top left of your corner of the screen, a white building, the 4 white oversized pillars. That's the Peter Shields Inn. One of the most pretentious homes built along the beachfront here in Cape May. It was built back in 1907 for the president of the East Cape May Development Corporation. It was the last home they built before going bankrupt. Any whales active here during the summertime? Absolutely. 2019 was one of the best years we've had on record, ladies and gentlemen, with whale activity throughout June, July, August, September, October, right up to November. We didn't make our last December trip, I think, but we had whale activity throughout the year. It was phenomenal last year, and it started this time of year, and it lasted throughout the summer, so. You know, as popular as Cape May is today and as popular as it was during Victorian times, then being known as the queen of the seaside summer resorts, it fell into quite a bit of a funk, if you will, around the turn of the century, 1900. At that time, Cape May was just a town of old homes, certainly no reason for a tourist to come down here and visit, and it took a natural catastrophe to snap Cape May out of its doldrums, that being the Great Nor'easter of 1962. That storm destroyed the seawall protecting the town, flooded the town, and destroyed several of the old Victorians. At this time, a lot of land developers came into the area. They wanted to tear down what was left and put up new modern structures. At this point, a grassroots movement took hold in Cape May known as MAC. MAC's an acronym for, now Cape May MAC was the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts and Humanities. They're co-sponsor of our cruises. They fought to preserve the history of Cape May. Their first battle was fought over the Emlyn Physic Estate, which now serves as their headquarters and museum in downtown Cape May. MAC is mostly responsible for the Victorian Cape May we all get to enjoy today. Are there a lot of shipwrecks around Cape May? Absolutely. One of which you can still see the remains of right at Sunset Beach. The concrete ship, the Atlantis. But there are wrecks literally just outside Cape May Inlet, and there are wrecks in the Delaware Bay, and there are wrecks offshore of Cape May here. This next group of homes inshore on the right for the next several city blocks, these are all classic examples of Victorian architecture at its finest. All of these homes were built between the 1860s and the 1870s, the height of the Victorian period. Take you back outside here.
Thank you.
They're capped off by the white building with the red roof, the red awning, and the American flag up top. That's the Sea Mist Inn, arguably one of the most photographed homes on the Cape May beachfront. Now, many of these homes, if you notice, have several porches facing the ocean here. These are known as widows' walks. Now, a lot of these homes were owned by the rich merchants of the day and the seafarers. Now, these men would go to sea, and their wives would wait at these homes, out on these walkways, waiting for their husbands to return from the sea. When they did not return, that's how they became known as widows' walks. Beach Ave here. White building with a large window in the back and the green roof. That's the convention hall here in Cape May. Third one to be built here. First two lost to the sea. Coming up on our right, got Uncle Bill's Pancake House. To the right of that's George's. Two great restaurants down the beach in Cape May. George's has been doing a great sale, I know that. I'm not sure about Uncle Bill's. Large yellow hotel with the white pillars and the gray roof. That's Congress Hall. It's the third Congress Hall to be built here. The first two, they were lost to fires. The second in the Great November Fire of 1878. That same fire destroyed over 30 acres of downtown Cape May. The third and present-day Congress Hall was constructed in the year 1879. It's L-shaped for maximum ocean views. It features a wraparound porch and white pillars, both trademarks of the Victorian hotels of its day. In 1882, Congress Hall was the site of 7 evening concerts held by John Philip Sousa and the Marine Band. It said that on opening night, over 3,000 people gathered on the front lawn of Congress Hall to hear his rendition of the Congress Hall March, a piece he had composed just for the event. My friend's wedding was at Congress Hall in 1988. My sister's wedding was at Congress Hall just last year. They're almost 2 years ago now. Wow. I think Uncle Bill's is opening for carryout this weekend. That's great. I know several restaurants are opening for carryout. If they have not been open, I believe Lucky Bones is going to be added to that list coming up here soon. Bella Vita is doing some very nice takeout as well. A couple different places, several different places. I believe they're all going to be open as of June 1st, certainly for takeout, and I know they're working on guidance so that they can open up for outdoor dining and indoor dining as we progress into summer here. Beautiful place, danced on the beach under a full moon. If you haven't danced on the beach under a full moon, you haven't been to Cape May. Or sat in a lifeguard stand at night. That's a lot of fun too. Coming up on South Cape May here as we head down the beach. You know it as the Cove. You come down the promenade all the way to the end. It's a great place to watch the sunset as well, as it usually sets with the lighthouse in the foreground. Down at the Cove. We know it as South Cape May. Right now we're sailing over top of the remains of an old Victorian village known as South Cape May. Many of the streets and the foundations of some of the old homes, they are right here, buried in the sand underneath of us. South Cape May was originally marketed to the African American community. One land developer attempting to attract attention to this area put up a wooden and tin-side elephant here, a lot like Lucy up in Margate. This was called the Light of Asia. It's also, I've seen it referred to as the Star of Asia. Put up in 1885, but it was torn down just 15 years later. We're leaving Cape May City proper behind us here, back in our wake. Working our way down towards the mouth of Delaware Bay, Cape May Point. See some of the folks who have other things to do today. Thank you very much for joining us if you have to go. We will be probably doing another virtual whale and dolphin watch here. Possibly this weekend. Saturday. Coming up, right side. Large concrete structure on the right up ahead. It's a World War II gun emplacement and bunker. This originally housed two 155mm Seacoast artillery guns. And they had a 12-mile range. It's actually part of a much larger military installation located over in Cape Henlopen State Park called Fort Miles. If you're ever over in Delaware, I highly recommend checking out Fort Miles. It's impressive. Now, what's more important than what this is when and where it was built. It was built in 1942. It was built 900 feet back from the nearest water's edge and completely underground. The sand you see around it, that's basically been replaced there over the last 20 years through beach replenishment projects, like so much of the beach here in Cape May, thankfully. And coming up, see the famous Cape May Lighthouse. This is the third lighthouse to be built here. The first two, they were lost to the sea. The third and present-day lighthouse was constructed in the year 1859. It is 157.5 feet tall, 199 steps up to the top, where it houses a 350,000 candle power light, visible at sea 19 miles on a clear night. MAC, Cape May MAC, has received over $2 million in grant money to restore the lighthouse to its original sandstone color and to do massive renovations to the lantern section and the oil house. Recently, it got a fresh coat of paint. The last couple of years here, she's looking gorgeous. For a small donation to MAC, you can make the climb up to the top for a beautiful panoramic view of Cape May Point and the surrounding waters. If you go to capemaymac.org, their website, I believe they're doing virtual tours of this lighthouse. It's a great museum, really cool to check out. Also on your right, you can see the white building with the red roof. That's St. Mary's by the Sea. This is our Sisters Summer Retreat, local here. Home to the Sisters of St. Joseph. It was built as the Shoreham Hotel back in the year 1890 by John Wanamaker. It was then sold to the Sisters in 1909 for the small sum of $9,000. You got to hand it to them. They know their real estate. It's one of the few places on the East Coast where you can see the sun rise over the Atlantic Ocean and set over the Delaware Bay. So the back half of the boat's in the Atlantic Ocean currently. The front half has entered Delaware Bay. You're now at the southernmost tip of the state of New Jersey. Any further south, you will get wet. 10 miles out on the left side of the boat, Lewis, Delaware. Opportune? Paul? Are we open again? Or are we open yet? We are shooting to open for Memorial Day weekend. That's our plan. We have a pandemic policy, if you'd like to view that, at capemaywellwatcher.com. Face coverings will be required. Social distancing will be required. And the boat's capacity will be reduced. Our crew will have face coverings on, and that is what our plan is currently. Whoop. Here we go. Community shore on your left, this is known as the borough of Cape May Point. However, it wasn't always this way. It was actually founded by Philadelphia's very own department store magnate, John Wanamaker, as a Presbyterian religious retreat known as the borough of Seagrove. Remained the borough of Seagrove for only 5 years, and it was changed over to the more popular borough of Cape May Point. So we're in the Delaware Bay. If we were to continue north on the course we've got you on right now, we could have you in the Delaware River and eventually be in Philadelphia in about 80 miles. Are the dolphins more prevalent at high tide or low tide? The dolphins don't mind the tide. They're pretty used to it. It does affect where they will show up around the island here. I just had a few go down actually up ahead of us here, just outside the concrete ship. It does seem on the outgoing tide that they are pretty prevalent around the inlet. Now on your right, tall concrete cylindrical tower. That's a World War II fire control tower. It was used during World War II primarily for spotting German U-boats, and there were quite a few to be seen. Also on the right, this is Sunset Beach. Every evening during the season here, we have a flag lowering sunset ceremony, a different flag every evening for a different fallen veteran. Sunset Beach is also an excellent spot to pick up Cape May diamonds. Cape May diamonds are a smallish stone which can be heat treated, polished, and made up into costume jewelry. If you look closely today, you might see a couple people bending over and picking them up. We definitely have some fishermen in there. And coming up on the right, you see the famous wreck of the concrete ship, the Atlantis. The Atlantis was 210 feet in length, commissioned back in June 1919. She was part of an experimental project during World War I to build ships out of concrete instead of steel due to a shortage of steel. She made several transatlantic crossings as a cargo ship. After being decommissioned, she was being brought here to be used as part of a ferry breakwater system. During a storm, she broke loose from her tow line, ran aground there, cracked in half. The Atlantis has been here ever since. Constructed entirely of concrete, reinforced with steel rods. Working our way out into the bay here, where our last known whale report came from. Talking to all the boats that we can. This last section of beach on your right here, this is known as Higbee's Beach. Believe it or not, this used to be our local clothing optional beach. That's right, this was a nude beach. Was that way for about 85 years, right up until around in the mid-90s there. Governor Christine Todd Whitman signed a bill telling everybody, keep your clothes on when you go to Higbee's Beach. That's also a 1,000-acre wildlife management area there, the Higbee Beach Wildlife Management Area. It's vital habitat to the spring and fall bird migration here in New Jersey. Whoop. There we go. A lot of people are going to have a funny tan mark on their face after wearing a mask out on the boat. I'm thinking of one in general. Mr. wearing zinc all over his face, Matt Kelly. Honestly, folks, I get an awful lot of sun myself. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a SPF protection on my face. So I'm looking into those neck gaiter things for protecting my face this summer. Are you allowed to walk on the beach? Yes. The beaches are open for walking. Passive recreation was the word from our fair governor. Fishing, that's why we saw some gentlemen and ladies fishing along the beach there. And they will be open for recreation June 1 in Cape May City. Again, the hotels and motels in Cape May City are going to be open June 1, 2020. Coming up here. Quick. Hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, the rentals. If you have a rental, you can get a rental in Cape May as of June 1. And the beaches will be open. So we're working our way out into Delaware Bay. We're changing our emphasis of what we're looking for from something small like a dolphin to something much larger. Now, we're not just looking for a humpback whale floating on the surface, waiting for us to come along and find them. So what are we looking for? You are looking for that same stereotypical spout of the whale, the old "arr, she blows." Same type of event. Now, a humpback whale can put up a spout 8 to 12 feet high. A fin whale can put up a spout 20 feet tall. It's a vertical column of steam shooting straight into the air. It's extremely noticeable. We can see it from far away. But we do need to look. One caveat to doing a virtual trip. Any direction I'm looking is where you're looking. So normally when we're out here, folks, I've got 100 to 300 of you out here, up to 600 of your eyeballs, so we can look all the way around the boat and we don't pass by anything. Well, I don't have that opportunity today. So, we're doing our best to look with what we got. Away off the beachfront. You're out the aft end of the Atlantis here. Part of the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet. Again, if you've enjoyed today's virtual whale and dolphin watch, and you'd like to help us out as a small family business down here in Cape May, go to CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com. You can buy tickets for a future trip, or you can buy a gift certificate. If you're not sure when you're going to go, I recommend the gift certificate. The gift certificate never expires in the state of New Jersey. You can gift it to a friend, or you can use it yourself. They're not specific as to whose name's on it. So, that's one thing you can do to help us out. We've been running these trips with $0 coming in the door. Don't have to, but we do appreciate any help you can give us, folks. Have we thought of putting? I gotta see if I can see the rest here. Putting a drone up to locate the whales. Just a thought. I have. Problem with drones, there's a lot of different caveats to that. First off, we'd have to be out here on the boat and operate the drone. So I've got to have somebody to operate the drone. And once the drone's up, the drone only has so much range from the boat to look around. The person operating the drone also has to be watching where it's going. Or you'd have to have then two people, one person to watch, the other person to drive. Most of the drones that I've seen, they're all prosumer grade. They don't have the range to just leave the dock with the drone, look for a whale, find it, and then report back. I have heard some horror stories of the commercial grade drones crashing. That's a pretty expensive crash when you start to talk about a $15,000 to $25,000 drone. But yeah, I've looked into it, sure. We've been in this business for 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. We've considered all kinds of options, from airplanes to drones to acoustic listening to everything else. And the most affordable way to do this is with our eyes and our ears and a network of boats in place. I tried the whole drone thing, and I had a $700 drone that I think crashed into my roof. So, you know, not everybody's a drone pilot. I had a lot more respect for drone pilots once I did that. Beautiful day out here on the bay. We're gonna have some wind noise. You're up in the front of the boat here. Cape May Lewis Ferry, they've been in operation throughout this entire pandemic. Looking over towards Delaware here, Cape May Lewis Ferry, returning from Lewis, Delaware. And here's a view back towards the lighthouse. We're a couple miles off the beach now, working our way out the mid-bay channel. Mark and Teresa, happy to hear you're coming back to Cape May next week. Can't wait till you get here. Take a walk, take a look around. Got an absolutely gorgeous day on Delaware Bay. We're out on the search. No reports this morning from the Cape May Lewis Ferry. We got one passing us right now. I was to guess, I'd say it's the Jersey. We're looking outside the lanes. One of the things we do when we look for reports, we talk to the ferries. Oftentimes, when there have been whales in the area of the ferries, but they're not seeing them, it's because they're outside their lanes. So the ferries can only go on a specific route, back and forth across the bay. We we are not governed by such specifics, so we can look around outside where they can see. Again, we don't have as many of you folks aboard. In fact, we have none. Where do we dock our boat? We are docked exactly at 1218 Wilson Drive in Cape May, New Jersey. So we're at the Miss Chris Marina, where we have been for the last 27 years. We have not moved. We are one block off the main road, Route 109, if you come into Cape May, back behind Tony's Pizza. 1218 Wilson Drive. Coming back in June, avoiding Memorial Day weekend. Well, I don't blame you. Memorial Day weekend, in normal circumstances, it can be pretty crowded. Nothing's normal lately, though, gang. I don't think there's going to be any crowds to speak of. That's my personal opinion, but normally there would be crowds here every weekend, the last couple weekends, and there's been nobody. Heading to Lewis, house on the beach, come over and have a beer. Maybe after the trip. Are we taking people out? We are not taking people out today. We are planning to open for Memorial Day weekend with very specific rules in place to make that happen. Face coverings required, social distancing required, and a reduced capacity so that we can do it safely and have you folks aboard again. So we're out here in the middle of Delaware Bay now. Captain Stewart's got us off the beach to our last known whale report. And we're searching. Got great conditions, slight breeze. Got Delaware out the port side, left side of the boat here. Thank you, Jim. Hope to have you aboard in the future here. We're not going anywhere, gang. Can't make it out right away, we understand. But we'd love to have you, and we're doing everything we can to make that happen. We will be open this summer. Memorial Day weekend, first trip. It is flat calm. Just had a splash out here on the right. Couple different. Yeah, I think we got a pod of dolphins about a half mile out on our right side here. See some bunker boats working up the bay on our right also. How far south do we go? On our normal trips, on our 3-hour whale and dolphin watch, which happens every day at 1 p.m., the furthest south I've had the boat is down to Indian River, Delaware. You can just start to see some of the hotels in Ocean City, Maryland on the horizon. That's how far south we've been. Watching whales. We see them down that direction towards Indian River pretty often. Depending on the year, it's a favorite. Yep, we only launch from Cape May. We have one location, 2 boats at that location. Each boat capable of over 300 passengers, 300 on one boat, 400 on the other. That location, 1218 Wilson Drive, Cape May, New Jersey. The Miss Chris Marina, 1 block off the main road, back behind Tony's Pizza. I know you can't smell it here, ladies and gentlemen, but the salt air is pretty thick this morning. And I've talked about that bunker a little bit. So humpback whales can grow to be 25 to 50 feet in length. They can weigh up to 35 tons or 70,000 pounds. These are big boys with big appetites. Around here, they eat bunker. Bunker is a small oily fish around 3 to 9 inches in length, silver in color, also known as menhaden or moss bunker. The reason I bring it up by the smells, I can smell the bunker here in Delaware Bay. It's a distinct sweet smell because of the oiliness that it has to it, and you can definitely get it with the salt air here today. That's tough to share, but that's what I'm smelling right now. And that's a good sign. The bunker here in the Delaware Bay is what brings all the life to Delaware Bay. It's an extremely important little fish. The bunker is an extremely important little fish. Get you out of the wind there. And that's part of the success of Delaware Bay when it comes to whales, dolphins, striped bass, bluefish. It's a key component of the food web out here. It feeds lots of different things, and it filters the water, believe it or not. Like oysters filter the water on the bottom, bunker filter the midwater column. So they are vitally important to Delaware Bay and up and down the East Coast, honestly. I've heard reports that bunker have even returned up as far north as Maine. For a while there, that wasn't a thing. Captain Stewart's slowing down for something. Let's check it out. I see some dolphins off the bow here. What do we got, Captain Stewart?
Exactly where we had the whale the last time. We got this little pod of dolphins right on this ridge here, or shoal. So I just thought I'd slow down and look around.
Okay, great. So we got some dolphins just up ahead of us here. Let's check it out. Yep, get focused here. Going left up ahead of us here, some more dolphins. As Captain Stewart said, this is the area where we had our last humpback whale. So we're seeing some life in the area. It's a sign that the bunker's out here. All good signs. Just off our bow here. There's Flipper, left side up ahead. Direction I am looking currently, we are at the front of the boat, and I have the camera aimed at 11 o'clock, so just to the left of the front of the boat. The front of the boat being 12 o'clock, back behind the boat being 6 o'clock, and you're currently at 11 o'clock. Dolphins just went down at our 11 o'clock position, and Captain Stewart is turning the boat in the direction the dolphins were moving. So they were moving left, the boat is turning to the left currently. We're waiting for them to come back up. They're down for a little while here. That's another sign that they're down feeding, chasing those bunker here. Let's see where they come back up. might say, back behind us. So now I've walked around the boat. I'm looking back behind the boat at our 6 o'clock position, down the port side here. Captain's still turning to the left. Dolphins just started to pop on the left. Out here, now at our 9 o'clock position. There's Flipper. And everybody's up. Nice group. Good sign. So why stop on dolphins? We already saw dolphins. If you're just tuning in, you haven't seen dolphins, so fortunate to hang in here and check it out. Second reason, the dolphins and the whales eat the same type of fish. I've been talking about bunker. It's what they eat. Oftentimes, you can stop on a group of feeding dolphins out here in the mid-bay or even offshore, and you can have a humpback whale feeding in that same area. Yes, they do interact in that way because they're competing for the same fish, often. So that's why we like to check out groups of dolphins on our whale watches offshore. A, they're cool. We love our dolphins here in Cape May. B, a lot of the time, there can be something else in the area, bigger. So they're still looking at the 9 o'clock position here, almost at 10 o'clock now, over the Atlantis. And we've got a group of bottlenose dolphins in the mid-bay channel here. We are about 3 miles south of Brandywine Shoal. Maybe 2 miles. 2 miles south of Brandywine Shoal. There's a little shoal right here where we had a humpback whale last. Our last reports have been from in this area. That's why we're here. Running short on time here, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful group of dolphins, though. Yes, it is a bit breezy. It really isn't. It's just the microphone. We've been working on ways to make the microphone more audible, and I do apologize for the breeze. We're going to continue our search. Typically around here, ladies and gentlemen, a humpback whale will stay down 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes is kind of a long time to wait for a humpback whale to return to the surface. They can stay down for up to 30 minutes, and that's an eternity when you're waiting for them. So we're going to keep searching here. How has the fishing been lately? The drumfish are biting. Some private boats have been out for them, and I know the drumfish are around. So fishing's been pretty good. I believe sea bass legally opens the 15th. And then fluke will open around Memorial Day weekend. Not a lot of guys out from what you can see, so. Thanks, Jim. I think the breeze is part of the trip, too. It is for me, for sure. I see some of the essential workers out on the bay today. We've got fuel barge leaving empty here. We've got a tanker also leaving empty. And then back behind us here, this is the Big Stone anchorage on the far side of the bay. It looks like we've got 1, 2, only 3 anchored up there right now. So we're working our way back to the Cape May Canal here. Starting to wrap up the trip here, ladies and gentlemen. We get a report between here and the canal. We're going to go check it out. Again, with the whale watching part of things here, with not having too many boats out, it is extremely difficult. We have been fortunate to find one on the virtual trips here. Again, we're doing 5% of the normal trips we'd be doing, actually less than 5%. So we're not out on the water as often as we normally would be this time of year. We're very happy to get you all out on our virtual whale and dolphin watch. This is the 8th installment. I believe we're going to have another one on Saturday, hopefully. It's not too windy. You're out here, Captain Jeff and Captain Stewart at the helm. Crew today, his wife Mary, my wife Leanne, and Jeffrey and Lillian are out with us as well. We are planning on opening for Memorial Day weekend. One more view out the back of the Atlantis here. Again, the boat we're on board today is one of three in the fleet. This boat's 125 feet long, so that's 125 feet of space down both sides on the lower deck alone. Another 100 foot on the upper deck, both sides. 2 cabins on board this boat. Lots of space, a capacity for 300 people. We're going to be operating with half capacity. We're going to require face coverings, and the crew will have face coverings as well. Require social distancing. We're going to do everything we can to do this and do it safely. Memorial Day weekend. Another pot of dolphins out on our right, cruising down the bay there, way out in the distance there. Let's go see what Captain Stewart's up to up in the wheelhouse.
Another group of fins out there too. Ooh, nice good. Real nice.
Yeah, I had a few out on our
Now, this is a whole bunch
other
coming
side.
in from.
Oh, big group?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got another group of dolphins up ahead right side here. Captain Stewart wants to show us.
We're on our way home.
Yeah, I was telling everybody we're starting to wrap it up here. I'll leave you be with your phone. See what we got out here. That's the bob up ahead, right side here. Just went down right next to us. Everybody's working in from out in the middle of the day. Must have gone around on our way out here. Happens pretty often. That's why we always tell you to look out both sides so you don't pass by anything. When we pass by this surface is dead ahead of us here. And all next to us here. There's Flipper. All right. Coming to you. More up ahead of us. That's a little behind us here. Which direction do the males migrate? do the whales migrate this time of year? Hawaii or Alaska? I'm not sure at Hawaii or Alaska. We're on the east coast for this whale and dolphin watch. We operate out of Cape May, New Jersey. Our whales, when they do migrate, this is the feeding grounds that we're in here. So this would be the northern end of their migration. Up through here, up into Maine, up off Canada. It's their feeding grounds. So when the whales leave here, the whales migrate south in the wintertime to their breeding grounds. And their breeding grounds are located in the Caribbean. Of course, so they don't take as long of a migration as the Pacific whales do, but they take about a 2,000 mile swim to their breeding grounds in the Caribbean. No worries. We got people tuning in from all over the world, from the UK. Nice to see you from California there. We've had folks tuning in from the Midwest. Folks, lots of folks in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. So no worries. I like the challenge. Beautiful pod all coming to us out on the right side, or the left side. So the camera right now is pointing out the left side of the boat here. So we're at the 9 o'clock position. A couple different pods, all working their way. It seems to be towards Cape May Point. Starting to wrap up our virtual whale and dolphin watch here. Again, this is the 8th in the series here. We've been good for about once a week. We're going to go for a second one here on Saturday this week. All the dolphins are popping back behind us here. All heading towards Cape May. See the point in the background there. What's the best month to see whales? Last year, we had a peak to the season in June and July, and then we had another peak to the season in September, October. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up our trip here. I'm Captain Jeff. I'm on board today with Captain Stewart here at the helm. I like to keep 6 feet away from him at all times. We are wrapping up the trip. We really appreciate everybody coming out with us today. We're heading back in towards Cape May Point. If we find something else along the way here, we'll tune back in for a additional live trip today. In the meantime, we've had some questions about when we're going to open. We're opening for Memorial Day weekend. We will be practicing social distancing. We'll be wearing our face coverings. We will be limiting the capacity of the boat, and we'd love to have you aboard. If you can't make it aboard, and you'd like to help support us, go to CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com, buy a gift certificate. Those gift certificates have no expiration. You can use them on a trip this weekend. Memorial Day weekend coming up, you could use it then, or you could use it next year. There is no expiration, so if you want to do something to help out the Stewart family, help out the Cape May Whale Watcher, and support these virtual trips, go to CapeMayWhaleWatcher.com, purchase a gift certificate. In the meantime, thank you all for coming with us. We really appreciate all of you coming out with us. To all of our essential workers, thank you so much for everything that you're doing at all times. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll all get through this storm together. I'm Captain Jeff, Captain Stewart, signing off.